I have so much work to do on myself. I mean, but compared to where I was like 9 years ago, I'm such a different person. I think I'm constantly evolving and filling into that role.
Welcome to the Deals in Aloha podcast, where we talk about real estate deals, hope to leave a lasting impact on our audience, and of course, spread aloha. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Please follow us on all social media platforms at Kamohai and Tristan. Let's go.
Let's go. We are so honored to have you here. Today we have JoJo Alonso from Anella C Developments, and you guys specialize in ground up construction and fix and flip since 2017. Thanks for being here.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. It's such an honor. Come on, Tristan. Thank you so much. I've been waiting. No.
We just gotta go down our list, you know.
Okay.
Long overdue.
No, but truly, it's such an honor to be here with you folks. I've been following you since I joined the mentorship. The value that and the impact that you have in the community inspires me. And I just love it. The Aloha, I feel it, and it's alive, and it's just such an honor to be here.
Oh my gosh. That's
I
awesome.
don't even know what to say to that. We don't deserve half of that, but thank you so much.
We appreciate you too. And I'm super excited today because like we met through the mentorship. I think we met at one of the deals in
we
Alohas.
met at Waikoloa at our Kaneohe house.
Speaking of deals in Alohas.
You're up next for one of those too.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
That's going to be fun.
I
But
know.
yeah, it's a little bit selfish, but we love this because now we get to hear your story. We get your undivided attention and time. And I'm super excited to hear it because I don't know and I haven't heard it before.
Yeah.
You know?
We get to hear all the details.
Yeah.
All the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's just jump in. How did you get into real estate?
Okay, so that's a really great question because I wasn't looking to get into real estate. If you go back to 2013, I had no idea what real estate investing was. I wasn't searching for it. I wasn't reading books about, real estate investing. It wasn't in my realm. And I had no interest in it. So I wasn't looking for that. In 2013, I was a business banking officer with a local bank. And I was happy. I was totally happy doing that. I had everything all planned out.
Yeah.
I was hired as business banking officer. I was so thrilled. I was planning on going back to get my master's, my graduate degree in business.
Yep.
And the bank would help pay for that.
Yeah.
And I was so excited. I was achieving my goals. I was winning awards as a business banking officer. I just loved it. I had everything all planned out. I was going to contribute the maximum amount into my 401k.
Right. Yeah.
My employer would fund it. And I was like, okay, this is perfect. I was like... everything was just laid out, and I just loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it until one day I didn't. So in 2013,
Take your time.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
I was like, okay, I'm not gonna cry. cry.
Oh, yeah, right. I always cry.
In 2013, my sister was diagnosed 2 days after Thanksgiving. My sister was diagnosed with liver cancer. And to put things in perspective and context on who she was to me, she was my first best friend. She was my confidant. She was my cheerleader in life, in love, in trials and in tribulation. She made an impact to those who knew her. She always left her footprints in the lives of people. And that's who she was to me. Oh my gosh, I'm shaking. But so the day she was diagnosed with cancer, our lives changed completely. We lost her 4 months after.
Wow.
She was only 43 years old. She was the baby of the family. She was the youngest. And my whole world fell apart.
Yeah.
I no longer had that drive, that ambition to be that top executive officer in the bank.
Yeah.
My sales dropped. I felt like I was like a zombie. Like I was living in a world, and I felt like I was so lost without her. A part of her, when she died, a part of me died.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I lost the fire, the ambition to just move on. I had fallen into a deep depression. It was just the simple act of getting up was so hard. I had a ton of bricks on me, and I felt like I was just chained. And there were days when I just didn't want to get up. If I could just lie down all day, I would just be happy. Like, please just leave me alone. And then my view of like other people, like they were like so happy and being successful, I started resenting them. Like, what are you guys doing? I just became I felt like I went to this dark abyss and I didn't know how to get out. It affected my marriage. I wasn't present for my daughter. And it happened, it was for like several years. It was like that. I ended relationships with best friends. I became very withdrawn. And we started to fall behind in our mortgage. And I didn't want my mom to know because I wanted to, pretend that everything was okay when inside I felt like I was practically dying inside. And then I thought we were going to lose the house actually too. So, but I was too proud to like try to borrow money from someone. And I was like, okay, we're just going to we're falling behind in our mortgage. I didn't know how we were going to, because I left. Because I left like 1 year after. I actually left like 1 year after, and 1 year after, because I just didn't have the drive and the vision
at the bank.
So I forgot if I mentioned that one. But so I left. I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I went into becoming like a mortgage loan officer, but I wasn't making money. I just didn't have the passion or the drive for that. So that's when we started falling behind in our mortgage and financially. And I didn't want my friends to know. I didn't want my family to know. It was really embarrassing. Until one day, when the universe takes, it also gives.
Love that.
So when my mom came to us one day, she goes, we lost someone. We lost someone. I want you guys to build something out of that. Make something out of that. And I'm like, what do you mean, Mom? Like, I can't even build myself back up. And then she said, so when my sister passed away, she left an estate. And then she also left some life insurance. So my mom said, I want you guys to take this money and build something. So she gave us the tools, and it was up to us to build something with it. So my sister was already doing development at that time.
Oh, nice.
And so she became our mentor. So we have a mentor, we have a private money. And I didn't know what that even meant.
Was,
but the formal terminology, my mom became our private money. Now we just had to find the deal. So our the first deal that we had was a 1 bedroom, 1 bath in Kalihi. And so we did that one, and then I think we bought it for like $185,000, and then we sold it, and then we did like maybe like 20,000 renovations, and then we sold it for I think we made 20,000 on it. So, but they're like 4 of us, right?
Yeah.
And then so we're like 5,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Well, that's better than what I'm making, which is like I'm not making anything right now.
Right.
Is because I'm not doing anything. So we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then we found an off-market property. Just driving around, we found this vacant land, and then it was for sale by owner. So it was a vacant land. It was a subdivided lot. So there were already utilities stubbed in, and then we offered. We contacted. We found out who the seller. We called that number and asked the seller, "Hey, we want to buy this." And then so we purchased that one, and then my dad got sick. So he got diagnosed with cancer too. So we started the project after he had passed away. He was so excited. My dad was a carpenter.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of like continuing the legacy
In the family, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, and he was so excited. He was like so excited to for us to start and build the house, and he was just so excited, but he couldn't wait.
Yeah.
So we started construction 1 month after he passed away, and then we built this huge home, go big or go home. And so I think it was like 9 bedrooms, 5 baths, I think.
Wow.
House.
Yeah.
So we built that, and I think we built it like in 7 months or 8 months. And then we sold it. So we bought it for $395,000.
Nice.
Okay.
And then we sold it for like 130. And then, but before when I listed it, I had like the neighbors come, and they're like, oh, he's like, oh, you're not gonna get not even $1 million. You're not even gonna be able to sell it. Like he's said it straight to my face, like you're not even gonna get like $1 million.
You're like,
for
thank
it.
you, thank you very much.
I'm like, okay, well, thank you. It's like, oh yeah, I don't think you're gonna get $1 million. Look, this area over here is in Waipahu.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, you're not gonna get. There's nothing that's sold that that you're not gonna reach like $1 million. I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm like, okay, well, we'll see about that. We'll see about
yeah.
that. But I'm like, I'm like, so, and then he smiled back at me, and I'm like, So I smiled back, and I'm like, But so we built it, and then we sold it. And we sold it for 130.
Nice.
So we sold it over $100,000.
Over
yeah.
$1 million.
Yeah. He thought.
Yeah.
And then I was like smiling back.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, thank you. Yeah. You're welcome.
So I'm like, thank you for challenging us.
I know.
That's what we needed to hear.
Right.
So the profit on that one was like $240,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. This is
rated
what
G,
it's.
rated G.
No, rated R.
My daughter said rated G.
Yeah.
So like I was like, oh, and it was like taking that red pill in the Matrix, right? So you take the red pill in the Matrix,
yeah.
and
Everything opens up.
everything's
This
Your
whole
eyes.
new world.
240,000.
Yeah.
So my family. So I got my real estate license at that time too. So it was
What
another
year was
stream of
this?
income. 2018.
Okay.
Nice.
So in 2018, so we started ground 2017, and I sold it in 2018.
Okay.
And then so I was like, my share was like 70 something thousand. I was getting 50,000 as a business banking officer.
Your
I
whole
thought I
year.
was banking.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
Right. And then so I was like, oh my gosh. And then my whole world just changed. Yeah. So and then I started evolving, and I started feeling alive again. Like I had purpose.
Yeah.
And, I have a renewed strength and a fire, in me. So it started from there. Yeah.
Wow.
From that one project that we were able to build. So that's why we love ground ups. So with each ground up, we dedicate it to my late sister and
Love
my
that.
daddy.
That's so cool.
We also leave. It's something secret that I leave in a hidden place in the house.
Yeah.
So that not only does it symbolize like a tribute to them, but also that the new homeowners would be blessed as I have been blessed.
Oh, there's so much to unpack
I know,
here.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's
so cool.
I love your story. I knew nothing about it. So it's so
Yeah.
inspiring, because I feel like a lot of people go through depression and they go through loss, and it's super hard to pull yourself out of it. And what drew you to the industry was legacy and family, and your sister leaving you guys something that you were able to pull yourself out of it. Was there anything else you attribute to your ability to pull yourself out of a dark place?
Yeah, family, and then this drive to want to be better, and then like financially too.
Yeah.
You know,
You needed it.
Yeah, like financially, we were like, I didn't know how we were gonna pay the mortgage. Like we were like falling behind, and then I was just getting like stressed out. So it's been like not only a spiritual journey, it's not an emotional journey, but it's also a financial journey. So now I'm like, oh, this is you know, real estate really is the way for like ordinary people to just come out of the rat race, and it just changes your world, your financial your path. And I didn't know about it, you know, before, and it's really now that, you know, I appreciate that, and family, they help me out, and it's love, you know. For me, it's just love, love from above, love from family, and now I'm like, I feel like I'm back. You know, I feel alive.
It's true.
It's just the greatest. It's the greatest feeling. There's that saying from James Campbell that I really keep it really close, and in anything that I do, and it reflects the journey that I've been through, is the James Campbell, we must let go of the life we have planned so as to accept the one that is waiting for us.
Woo! Wow, that's a powerful one.
It is. It's a powerful one, and I think it's with our journey, but also like even in real estate when
my gosh,
developing or rehabbing, right?
This house is a prime example.
Exactly, right. So I think and this real estate journey is really the best. Like for me, it's just like really the best, because I just have a strong, you know, conviction. I feel very blessed, and I feel that the blessings that I've received, I want to pay it forward and be a blessing to others too. So it's just I'm just grateful, you know, to the universe, and to I guess all these things had to happen in order for me to you know, be where I am. So it's just I respect the journey, and then I respect the void, and the void, I guess, respect the journey that I've been through. With everything.
I was just gonna say that, because I feel like everything happens for a reason, and especially when you go through trauma or loss, you find yourself in a position where you're like, why is this happening? There's no good that can come from this. But then once you're able to walk through the path that God has, even in the darkness, and you get to the light at the end, you realize you're like, this is why.
Yes. And then the light.
I'm getting emotional.
I know.
You're like, this is why, you know, it all makes sense, but you have to trust that path.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to cry too now. You gotta get me crying too. But, and then that light really is like, for me, that light was the love from my sister, from my parents, my mom. That was the light that guided us, that guided me out of my darkness. I just didn't know how to get out. My husband tried to help me, but I think if you don't allow people in, if you don't bring people in, you don't say, if you say no, you'll never get there. So we have to say yes. We have to say yes to people helping us. Yes to just opportunities that the tools that people give you, the gifts, the blessings.
No, totally.
I mean, because I don't know, maybe it's a cultural thing, but shame sometimes too, right? To
not asking for
accept and not ask for help. We do the same. I'm the same way. But sometimes you have to do that, right? You totally have to do that. I'm so inspired by that story. I think it's just something that the audience can really, really benefit from, because the whole other side is you had your dream job. Like
I did.
Yeah.
It sounded
You were
like
totally content.
when you were
It
explaining
was
that.
everything I wanted since I was like in my 20s.
Yeah.
Right.
I wanted to have that. I wanted to wear my high heels and my dress suits,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I had my Gucci bag and my Tiffany bracelet.
Yeah.
That my Tiffany, and that's my. That's how I defined success.
Right.
In my back in 2013.
You didn't know anything else.
That's the thing.
I didn't know anything
That
else.
was it.
I
That
was
was
taught,
success
Yeah, I was taught.
to
I
you.
was in high school. I graduated number 5. I was on scholarship. I was on scholarship to college. I was on that path, the traditional path that we are trained to subscribe to.
We're programmed to subscribe to, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I was success. Anything else, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's not,
Yeah.
I didn't think of anything else. That was the path that I had planned.
Right. Right.
But the universe had
Different
The
plans.
universe had different plans.
Sure
and
did.
all of the things that happened to you or happened for you,
Yeah.
right? I like to say that those things actually happened for you to
I
turn
love
you
that, yeah.
into the person that you are today. And now you take the red pill,
Yeah.
exploded.
Yeah,
We're all
exactly.
mind blown. For us, it was the third project we ever did, and we
Yes.
actually made money on
Really?
it.
Oh, okay.
And we're like, okay, this is actually what real estate investing is, but a whole new world. And I think it's so cool that not only, okay, yeah, you realize that you can make money, but you found a purpose in having impact and giving back and helping people. I know you guys are doing that now. Man, we resonate a lot with.
But that's
with
why you're so
everything.
successful, is because you have a purpose and you have a meaning and you've been through dark valleys.
Yes.
And now that you're at a peak, you realize that it's your responsibility, because you've been through situations that you've had to overcome to help the next person, because you took the pill and you see the other side,
exactly.
you're like,
exactly.
people, anybody can have this.
Yes.
Anybody can do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, I think it's a timing thing, right? Maybe back then you weren't ready for what is right now. You know what I mean? So
Right.
the universe does give you stuff and opens up these opportunities. Your responsibility to walk through that door.
Yes.
But a lot of times it's all of those things that happen for you that is why when you're
Prepares
ready, right?
you.
It prepares you
Yeah.
for when the universe wants to give you
Yeah.
this new blessing.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
yeah.
Yes.
Super cool.
Exactly. I love that too.
Yeah.
So you did your first ground up. You made your portion of $70K.
Yes.
And then what happened? What happened next?
So at that time, and I think the lack of education into it, we were just doing like one project at a time.
Okay.
Because my mom was our
Lender.
private money lender. We didn't know about, hard money lending, other private lenders. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even want to do debt. I didn't want debt,
Yeah.
right?
It's the
Yeah.
programming
Right now, I had
again.
millions of dollars in debt. Well, I'm like, no debt. We were like, no debt, no debt.
well,
debt,
we were taught
Yeah.
that debt is bad.
Yes,
Right.
yeah, like no debt. And then, so we were just we started off slow. We're like, like that plane that it just goes on the runway,
Yep.
it goes slow, and then it goes up, and then you speed up, right?
Right.
Yep.
As
Yeah.
you go further up. Well, we're like on that plane, on that runway, just slow, like
Yeah.
one at a time. Like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I just want to go back in time and like kick ourselves,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then that's so after that, then we found our another ground up in
The second new build.
yeah. So that was a ground. So then we found like it was an MLS. So believe it or not, we found a lot of our deals, majority of deals on MLS. And I think because we have kind of a niche, like a ground up development, we're able to add a lot of value
Yeah.
to the property, to the point where we can still make money
Yeah.
building ground up.
Yeah.
And the way we like to do it is we like to build it with multifamily, because everyone knows on Oahu, we with the limited land, it's hard to build this way. That's why condos are rising.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so we try to maximize the use of that lot. So with the way we design it is always for income producing, where
Yeah.
they can.
Yep.
We have it like with ADU.
Love that.
So up and down, where they can even do like 3 units on it too.
Right.
For
Right.
the projects that we build. So we were just doing like one at a time. So after that, when I think when I started getting educated and started really bigger pockets.
Love
Yeah,
it.
there
So
you
then,
go.
just getting educated on that, then I started to learn about hard money lending. So we were just doing just like one project at a time until last year, actually.
Oh, wow.
Last year is when we started getting uncomfortable with hard money lending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that allowed us to scale
Yeah.
from 1 to 5 at a time.
Wow.
Nice.
So when we scaled 1 to 5 at a time, I because I didn't know how to handle that from 1 to 5,
Yeah.
and suddenly it was like everything. I didn't know how to manage stress.
Yeah.
It's hard.
So yeah, you guys do like a lot,
It's
right? So I don't know how
hard.
you do it, but I didn't know how to manage stress, so I even ended up in the ER.
Oh no.
Oh, no way.
Time
yeah.
because
Yeah.
I was so stressed
So
out.
stressed
It's so
out.
important to it's so important to in real estate, right? To
Yeah.
manage stress. So I always ask people, how do you guys do it?
Right.
You got to think of our mental our mental health too, right?
Yeah.
Not only our
100%.
financial health.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So because you guys do a lot, so that's like
We
you're
get
like
it.
super.
We
You're like
we
the
get
super
it.
couple.
No, I mean, earlier this year we nearly had a breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Earlier this year, I was at max capacity. I was in a dark place, and I told him, I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm not
really?
having fun.
Oh, you
Yeah.
could have fooled me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at faking it. I fake it. No, but yeah, I mean,
But
it's
always with a
not.
smile.
Yeah, but it's important to recognize where you're at mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, because if your cup is empty, you can't pour out into your projects.
Exactly,
You can't
yep.
pour out into other people and add value. So you have to make sure you're constantly filling that cup.
Yes,
Constantly
yes.
filling. And that means, guess what? That shit will get done tomorrow. Because today,
That's right. Today I'm just
I
gonna
am
rest.
gonna turn on Netflix, or I am
Yeah.
going
Oh my
to
gosh. Yeah, that's-
lounge and go to the beach with my kids, and there has to be a constant balance. But as entrepreneurs, we praise hustle culture. Hustle culture is that's the way you get success. So yeah, it's hard. So how are you managing your stress? Because you're still doing multiple projects at a time like us.
Yeah, well, I kind of scaled it back. And so after my ER adventure, my ER adventure,
Yeah.
where I came back and I was like, exactly like how you said, you can't pour from an empty cup. So I came home and I was like, gosh, if something happens to me, like how am I, there are things that I want to achieve.
Yeah.
And so I can't do it if I'm if I don't have, I have to take care of myself.
Yes.
Totally.
So I thought, okay, you know what? It's not being selfish, right?
No.
To take care of yourself first. Like I've always been try to take care of my mom, and being a good daughter to my mom, being a good mom to my daughter, being a good wife, being there for my husband. And then I realized that although we are, yes, a superwoman,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, we are that even our even superwomen, we need a break. So exactly like Netflix, or just playing with my dog, just driving around and just relaxing. I'm trying to learn to meditate.
Yeah.
There you go.
My friends are telling me, okay, you can learn meditate, breathe in,
Yeah.
breathe out.
Some breathing
Yeah.
exercises.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because I wouldn't be able to exactly help others if I can't. I need to help myself first.
Exactly.
And, like
Totally.
just like when you're on a plane, right? You got to put our mask on,
And
before
then
you
you-
Or
and then
anybody
you pour,
else's.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, I love that too. And I really want to pound this home for the audience. I think as entrepreneurs, we put our head down and we just go. And we just look for every opportunity and take it. And we oftentimes, and this happens, I hear this story over and over, we neglect ourselves in the process, but we don't even realize we're doing it until it's too late sometimes.
Yes.
Right?
Like
and
ending
then
up in the ER.
End up in the ER
or wanting to quit.
Right.
Yes.
Or we,
Yes.
right. So it's important first to make sure that you're approaching life from a holistic view. So you're taking care of your mind, your body, and your spirit, right?
Yes.
But making sure that you're doing that, but then trying, like, doing little resets. So like while you're going, taking a step back, intentionally, consciously looking at where you're at, realizing what's going on and what's happening, and making sure that you're not going on 100 miles per hour, you know, for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a very actionable, practical way that I found to do that is to literally just plan it into your day where you don't. I find that when I wake up, I mean, everyone has to find their own rhythm, but if you can have a routine, I feel like human beings thrive in structure. So if you're able to structure a day where you have little caveats or times where you're doing self-care, whether that's journaling, meditating, watch that 20-minute
Netflix.
whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
you know, I don't believe in genuine balance. I think that's rubbish. I don't know how, as entrepreneurs, we're just not wired for balance. So I like to reframe it as integration. So integrate those things into your schedule so that you are having those tiny breaks that you can refresh and you can refresh and you can refresh.
Yes,
you know?
Yeah. I love that. The structure, when I was a business banking officer at a corporate bank, everything had to be structured.
Yeah.
So yes, so that's how I function too. So when now it's like totally different being an entrepreneur, being your own. It's like, okay, how do I structure?
Because what is a scheduled day?
Yeah. But I love my Sundays, you know, now. Before when I was in corporate, like Sundays, like, okay, can't go out, can't do it. We have to be in bed at this time. Got to get up early in the morning.
Right. We don't have to do that.
To get ready. But I always like with the, I also have to remind myself too, whenever I'm stressed out or when I feel like I'm going at 200 miles per hour. So my sister was a nurse at Straub. So after she passed away, about a few months after, the nurse, she was on the 4th floor. They said, "Oh, we'd like to invite you to the garden, the healing garden. We have a ceremony in honor of your sister."
Wow.
So
Wow,
I was
that's
like,
cool.
I said, "Oh my gosh!" So you know, so honored. So But so we went there, and they presented us with this gift. So it was a bench. So I always tell people, if you ever go to Straub, and you go to the healing garden, there's this bench in honor of my sister, Kathy Agbayani. And I'll tell them, go ahead and sit whenever you feel stressed, whenever you're like, when you feel overwhelmed with life, when you feel like everything is against you, the tide is against you. I welcome you to go sit on my sister's bench and just rest and relax. And in the healing garden, and just rest and relax. And then so it's just a reminder to just rest. To rest, find that bench and just rest, and then you get up and you move again. But find that. That's what the bench is for. So I'll tell people, find your bench and just rest.
And just rest. Right. It's critical.
That's so
Don't
good.
end up in the ER room.
Don't end up in the ER. Well, we always find out the hard way. I feel like
small kind hard head.
As entrepreneurs and like go-getters, you know, and dominant personalities, we always find out the hard way.
Push your limits. You don't.
But okay, so I have a question about your first and second deal. When you guys did get into it, those deals just went super smooth, no issues, no nothing? Or what was your biggest like thing you had to overcome in the condo and then the first ground up development?
Oh, everything went smooth. No, just kidding. The condo, I think. Oh, okay. Let's go with the development. I think with that, it's because we were learning like ground up, development. So I think it was like just working with contractors and then their timeline too. So I think with that, it's just basically that was like our learning, our first project. We had to I think, and then with that, it's cost it for ground up. It's a lot of money, like a lot of money.
Tons.
And so, and I think it's working with, so we have like 4 siblings, or 4 of us.
Yeah.
We're very loud, We're like, we party hard.
Yeah.
We love
Fight
hard.
hard.
We fight hard.
Yeah.
So I think with us, the dynamic is like you're in with like 4 partners, and sometimes you just don't see eye to eye.
Yeah.
So we're like, this, and then like always like pointing the finger. So we had to kind of, and we've never worked together in a business
Before this. Yeah.
Right.
So you've got it's a different dynamic with family versus like when I was working as a business banking officer at the bank.
Yeah.
So it was just like trying to work with each other and still stay family.
Yeah.
And,
Oh my gosh. Tell me more about that. So like because that's hard, and not many people are able to work with family for those very reasons. Because there's really no boundaries. All boundaries are crossed.
Especially when it's family.
And then it's
the
like
gloves are off.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
my earrings. You gotta take off your earrings, and this hair is gonna go up. And just hold on to my earrings.
So it's like, how did you balance remaining siblings and keeping that love, and then having this business relationship, and like what makes it work so well?
I think like for us, it all came down to like the reason why we started it. We started it because it was we wanted to show people that we were able to overcome our grief. I was wallowing in my grief, but I think it comes down to the reason why did we want to do ground up development? Why did we want to start a family business? It was to honor. For us, it was at first it was to honor my sister's memory. From that we were able to build after tragedy. That we can still triumph. We can build something from our lowest point and build something beautiful in the community that will not only help us, but we're helping to feed people.
Yes.
We're hiring contractors,
Exactly.
right? From A to Z, from the architect to even the buyer's real estate agent. And I didn't realize this until I got into like there was tremendous responsibility that you're feeding people's
Families.
lives, and so imagine the impact just from that.
It's pretty incredible, right? When you think about
the
it.
responsibility, and then so it was from that the why, and it was that. So initially it was because we wanted to continue this legacy. We wanted to honor my sister. So that has kind of evolved right now. Now it is still to continue to honor my sister and my dad's legacy.
But now it's grown.
But now, exactly. It's evolved now to something bigger where I want to be a blessing to other people, and I want to help others. I have so many people, like even people who don't know me. They're like, "Can you help me? Invest in real estate?"
I want to get started in real estate.
Exactly, and I'm like, "How do you know about me?" I'm kind of low key,
Yeah, you are low
but
key. They're
like, "Oh, I heard about you."
But I know who you are.
What did you hear? They're like, "No,
all good things, right?
I just found out last night that I was like helping out this they're newer 1 year, and so I was tired last night. I had one of my developments. We were in escrow under contract, and I met with the buyer's inspection. I was exhausted. I was busy yesterday, but I really wanted to help these. So when I came home, I skipped dinner so I could help people. And I said, hey, let's analyze this deal, because it's pretty much a contract where they waive all contingencies and they have a $10,000 earnest money deposit.
There's a lot on the line.
Yes, and it's non-refundable. And I'm like, okay, so they came to me for help, and I said, okay, let's analyze this deal and everything. But so now I'm like, now I'm thinking, okay, how else can I help them? Because it's they're under contract for a house that they want to add like 2 bathrooms, and I'm like, okay, you know you're gonna need to get permits on that.
Yeah,
And, you know, the
take-
permits are really fast here. No, sarcasm there.
Right.
She's joking.
So I said, okay, so you allot for like, let me give you some hard questions.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so what is your exit strategy on this? Okay, what happens if you're not able to get the refinance loan?
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to? What are the comps on it? How much can you rent it out for? They want to add and then separate into units so that they could make it a multi-family, convert the single family to a multi-family, like 3 units. I said, okay, well, give me some numbers,
Right.
Yeah.
because the numbers will
Are
right?
all that, then they don't lie, and that's all that matters.
I mean, like, yes, it's a location. You know, you love the location, but the numbers.
There's more than that.
Be realistic
Yes.
too, right?
Right.
So, it's evolved until like where I would just like spend hours helping others who just want to, they want to get out of the rat race.
Yeah.
And, you know, and
Yeah.
they remind me of me.
When you got started.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
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 So I want to help them.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to be a blessing to them and
You
pay
want
it
to
forward.
Yeah. share the knowledge that you've accumulated through the
Exactly.
school of hard knocks and
Yes.
experience.
Yeah.
And that's what we're passionate about too. And I feel like a lot of people come and it's important to share that information and that knowledge, because people don't truly understand what it means to analyze a deal.
Yes.
And turning over all of the stones to make
Yes.
sure that scenario A works. And did you check this number? And okay, what's that disposition strategy? Does it work at this way too?
Yes.
You know, there's
Yes.
so many things to take into consideration to make sure a deal works, and you have to take all of the emotion out of it.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. The emotion, and that's a challenge sometimes, especially for us, because it started with emotion. Like for us,
Yeah.
it started
Yeah,
with
big
something
time.
very, very personal.
Totally. Totally.
But yeah, exactly. I love that.
Yeah, I think too, which is cool, and you've said it multiple times throughout this conversation, is that you and we feel the same way, almost have a responsibility to help these people, right? Like, it becomes different when it's not just something that you want to do or you think, because a lot of people think they have to do something or that they should do something. But if you're really truly passionate and purposeful about it, and then you add responsibility to that, it goes to another level. So I mean, that's literally
I love that
why
Yeah.
we want to do Deals in Aloha and build communities, because in the end, real estate, we know, is the perfect vehicle for this.
Amen.
Right?
It is a
Right?
golden
I
ticket.
completely, unequivocally agree.
Right.
Yes, yeah.
And then if pair that with anybody can do it, we're not special people in any
You're
way.
special too.
Well, yeah, I know. She is definitely special.
Stop it.
But like, other people can do it, and like it's just like you want to share that with them and let them experience the same things that you're experiencing. So
Exactly.
yeah,
and
super cool.
I don't claim to know everything. I'm still in learning, it evolving. I'm just saying yes to opportunities out there.
But that's the beauty of it, because if you show up authentically as who you are, and you come from a place of, this is what I've done, so I can share with you my experience. I'm not saying I know it all, but that's how you create the genuine impact, versus somebody that does one deal, shows up, and then acts like they know everything. It's a scary place to be.
It is.
That's the
yeah.
opposite of impact, you know?
Yes, exactly. That is a scary place and a dangerous place to
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I share like everything. Sometimes my husband tells me, why are you telling them all that? Why are you sharing them? Why are you giving the secrets away?
Yeah.
I'm like, why not?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the universe will reward us.
100%.
Totally, yeah.
That's a
Right?
law
You
of
know,
abundance.
Fate has always taken care of us.
Always.
100%.
If you do the right thing, you know, with
Yeah.
integrity.
Yeah.
It's just, I think it's just in our human nature, right? You know,
Exactly.
to help people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, specifically here in Hawaii, I think that culture is very strong.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's why we align with people like yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what tell us about the last deal that you did.
Okay.
The very last deal.
So the last sold or the last
Last sold.
purchase?
Or the last purchase. I think the last.
All of them. I want to know about all of them.
The real reason is we're super intrigued with ground up development because because we have never done.
We're not ground up.
No.
We don't do it at all.
My vision. I visualize you guys doing that.
Eventually.
You're so capable.
It's in the trajectory for sure.
I mean, I can imagine your designs. I mean, your interior, the way you design now is just really A+. It's exceptional. I just love it.
Thank you.
I don't know how to design. You know?
Thank you. Well, you know how to do ground up construction, girl.
Yeah, so that I can offer, you know. Okay, so the one that we have is one that we acquired through foreclosure.
Okay.
It was a lender sale, actually. It's a lender sale.
Okay.
So it's a waterfront property in it's actually in Waikoloa.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Waikoloa.
Nice.
Yeah. So
That's where I grew up.
just down. Oh, really?
Yeah.
My parents still live there on
for
Waikoloa.
real? For real?
Yeah.
So that's where I'll have our
I'm
meetup.
so
Nice.
excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super
Hey,
cool.
maybe girls' night out.
There you go.
Bring it up. Yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah, it's all good.
all about-
I get it.
Yes, we go watch the ocean.
No,
we can go
that'd be fun.
We can go kayaking there. So this one we found in it was a lender sale, and it was an MLS listing.
Yep.
So we came in and we're like, oh, this is awesome. So we check. It's like a lender sale, but the best part of it was it came with permits.
Nice.
So we're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We can start on this right away.
I was like, salivating.
Yeah, because that's rare.
Right away. But so it came with permits, but of course we have to do our due diligence and make sure. So we went to DPP before we submitted any offer. First of all, we asked the agent. So one thing about us is it's very important to establish good relationship with the listing agents.
Yeah.
So we're like, my sister is good at that and my husband is good at that. So I send them.
Yeah.
So we're, we call it the brainwashing. Not the brainwashing.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
But so we established rapport with them. But so we found out, okay, first of all, is it the property still available? And so yes, it's available. And then we check to see hey, we always check for if there's any kind of permit for anything for every property that we buy. One of the first things we do, for ground up, is to make sure that we have all the utilities subbed out. There's a sewer lateral there, water stubbed out. Is the permit. So we went online and we checked that, hey, there's permits here. We're like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. People start dilating and then salivating. So we went down to DPP and then we verified hey, is the permit still good on this? And they said, yes, it is. And it was 5 years old,
Oh, wow.
It was 4 years,
No
4
way.
years old, right? So we're like, hey, the permits are still there. So we got the permits and we so initially what happened was it was my sister and I we were just gonna get that one, but then the shift in the interest rates, so we were going to use a hard money lender. About 4 days prior to signing to closing, the hard money lender came up to us and said, oh, we can't do the deal.
Oh my gosh. That happened to a lot of people.
Yeah. Because of that's when that was
they're pulling
September.
out. Yeah.
And we're like, what do you
mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
And why? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean? Well, and then with the market rate and this, and then with our investors, this, and I'm like, and then so it was kind of when someone's talking to you, and then it's
you have tuned out. You're like, what am I gonna do now?
They're explaining, and I'm like, and all I can think of is oh my gosh, we're supposed to close in 4 days. We're supposed to close in 4 days, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, okay. So after my sister and I had a good cry, and I'm stressed out. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I gonna?
What are we gonna do?
ER again? I don't want to be in the ER. They saw me a lot already. I'm like, oh JoJo, it's you again. But so I was like, oh my gosh. I said, okay, so we got to bring the family in because this project was my project. It was supposed to be my project, and I was ready to just do one. And my sister was going to be my mentor. So I was so excited. Had things planned. My husband was going to do the interior designing. We're like, I was like, okay, we got it all planned, but again, right? So sometimes we have to let go of what we planned.
Pivot.
So
Pivot,
right? So it's part of the pivoting thing. So then I had to bring the family in, and so the dynamic, right?
Yeah,
the family again. I'm like, oh gosh, we already have 2 other projects. We have other. I already have a couple other projects with my family. So I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. The dynamic. So, but again, it comes down to our why. My why is like, for financial, for the experience, and this is what we do. This is what we do.
Yeah.
So, so brought the family in, and so then we brought in cash. So we came cash to close. But actually, before that, if I could backtrack, when we it was listed at 125. And then I came in at 900.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then so the agent went back to the investors and they're like, no, we want 1.1. And then I said, okay. And then I came back and I said, okay, how about 1?
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, no. And I'm like,
shucks.
I'm not going to go any more than that. One.
Right.
Then I'm thinking when we sell it,
all the
end
things.
buyer, the interest rates are going to be even higher.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, never mind. And then the agent comes back and says, okay, they took it.
Good.
They accepted it.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, okay. So then it's salivating again. And so that's when, so we managed to close on it, and so we started building. So we got it at 1.
Okay.
And then we're right now we're working on, I think, like on the second floor there.
Okay.
The second floor. Yeah. So
Nice.
second floor. We just did the truss, working on the second floor framing. I think we're doing the rough-in
Nice.
for the
Next.
plumbing. Yeah. So
We got a sneak peek because you took some
some friends
students.
over there. That's so awesome.
So I'm very private. Sorry.
No.
But so I'm very private. So I took one of my substitute students is also one of my private lenders because he wanted to know ground up.
Nice.
Oh, I
And
love
he's like,
it.
hey, I want to be a private lender. So I love that, he's taking action.
Yeah,
Totally.
That's his way of adding
that.
value.
Yeah.
We always want to add value to other people.
Yeah.
I said, sure, whatever
Come
you
on,
want to
let's
know,
go
I'll
look.
teach you. So,
Yeah.
him and his wife, and then the others like, hey, we want to come. I'm like, okay, sure, let's make a concept out of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
I love
coming
that.
down. But so initially, it was supposed to be 2 projects, but it ended up being 2. Actually 4 projects. I took them on 4 projects that day because my sister had also had 2 other projects that she got under contract. She was able to purchase in the same area.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So so it was a development actually. The Waikoloa base. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. There was a development there.
I know where it is.
Yep.
So I'm not here, but the developer pretty much they ran out of money.
Yeah,
Yep.
they abandoned
I know
them.
exactly
Yeah.
where it is. My
And
parents
never-
walk down there all the time.
All the
and
time.
Oh,
They told,
really?
That's
were
their
talking to
walking
me
route.
about it.
About it?
Yeah.
So lender, so it was a lender sale, and then we act fast. So you gotta act fast, right? I always tell
Totally.
people
In this industry, you can't wait.
Yeah, you can't wait. Time
Yeah.
is your enemy.
Yes.
Time
Yeah.
is your enemy. So
Yes.
you gotta, so we move fast. We
Yeah.
talk fast. We move fast. We eat fast.
Yes.
So, what does your guys' current team look like, and what are the positions that you have on it?
Okay, so for the family, the family, it's my siblings, my nephews. They became carpenters, and now they're like general contractors.
Wow.
So it's like a so it's like a family.
Yeah.
It's really a family affair.
Yeah.
And so we take turns being. So I'll manage the projects for the rehabs, and then my brother and my sister will handle the ground up development. And then we have, my nephews are the general contractors. My mom's the cheerleader.
I love that.
My 9-year-old mom.
Yeah.
And then my husband is an interior designer for that. And then I handle like the books.
Yep.
So we have, the books, and so you have that. So that's basically, that's basically
That's
our
it.
team. And then we're licensed. So once the project managers hand us over the keys to us, then we market it, we put it in the market and for sale. So
Nice.
So I take it from the beginning, and then we have the construction team,
Yeah.
and then the marketing team, which is back to me.
Yep.
And then we take it from there. So
Wow.
Wow.
that's
So
cool.
it's all family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yes,
all
I'm
vertically
like,
integrated.
yes,
All the
yeah.
pieces are
That's
all integrated.
amazing.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't figure out how to vertically integrate all of the pieces, and you've done it, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, and we didn't even realize that we just wing it, with everything.
I love
Yeah.
that.
But yeah. So it has its challenges because we're still,
Family, that's why.
family. Yeah. And we can get away with it because
Right.
blood. And
Yeah.
again, the next day it's like we're like fighting, and then
It's
2
fine.
hours later, what are we eating for dinner?
Yeah. What's for dinner?
Yeah. Or are we supposed to really do that on Saturday? You know, So I get that too. Because
Yeah,
my
I mean-
brother is our project manager, and he and I will fight in text on the phone.
Oh,
And then we'll see each other,
real?
we'll see each other on a Saturday at like
Yeah,
a family event, and it's like hugs. Okay. Like move
Yeah.
on.
Or
you know?
during the day, they're like going back and forth, and then my in-laws pick up my kids, and we have to go over there for dinner.
And it's
then
like,
they're
whatever.
seeing each other.
See,
Talk
yeah.
story for
It's
dinner.
funny.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
But
that's
like
cool.
ultimately, if you had it a different way, like it wouldn't be as special.
I think so.
You
yeah.
know?
I mean, family is why we're doing this in the first place.
Totally.
Like
Right.
that's how it started with family, and just trying to make good out of something that
Yeah.
was bad.
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, it's special. Like
Yeah.
it's so special when you
Yes.
can do that together and actually make it work. Because I know it's very difficult.
It's
Yes,
very difficult.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, but it sounds like it just organically happened. Was what are the pieces that you need, or the roles that you need to fill in order to successfully complete a ground up construction? Because it doesn't just it starts with the deal, but there's a lot of players.
Right.
And
right.
what are those players, and how did you find them?
Yeah. So, my sister was already doing development, prior.
Mm-hmm.
So we sort of like inherited the
All her
workers there.
relationships, yeah.
Yeah.
The
and then
resources
some
and-
were like, okay, we're not going to use them, so
Mm-hmm.
we use them.
Yeah.
So then we got so that's the advantage of pretty much like partnering up with someone experienced. They come in with not just the knowledge, but then the resources.
Yeah.
So,
Love that.
so we had that advantage, I guess. I can say like we had that advantage, and then we just sort of like inserted myself like, okay, I'm going to learn this, but like how to acquire it from the beginning, and then to the end.
Yeah.
And then just learning, the process from building from ground up,
Yeah.
with everything. So we have like we were able to get all the contractors, the subs. And then when we started to scale, then we needed people who weren't family members. So,
Right.
Right.
now that's the challenge is there's like, okay, how do we make sure so that they complete the job? Because there's a trust with family, but
Yep.
now you're having like non-members.
Right.
So truly like we have to be more careful
Right.
because you don't want to, you want to make sure that the job is done. Like time is of the essence. Time is
Yeah.
the enemy.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure you have a good team players who have the same goals. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Like, okay, we need to finish this on time.
Totally.
So the construction, so just getting so the acquisitions team, which is pretty much us, and then we had the construction team, and then the marketing team.
Yeah.
Because I know you guys ground up, you guys need to go through DPP, our favorite friend in the world.
Our favorite friend.
Yes.
Do you guys have an in-house like draftsman architect, or who does all of your guys' plans?
Yeah, so we do have. So we'll do like a couple. So we do have like it's not an in-house, but
Yeah.
so we'll ask for like referrals.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll use. Okay, who did you use?
Yep.
So then that's how we would find them, and
Yeah.
then we would use the same. So sometimes we'd switch up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
architects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll use them, and so it's basically from like my sisters too. So we kind of use them, and I'll be able to work with them.
Nice.
Yeah.
But there are some like for finishings. So my nephews would come back. They would frame, they would do the framing, and then they come back for the finishing. So
Nice.
and all the subs. And
In
then sometimes
between.
sometimes we bring in like different people but they they have to understand that we have a timeline.
Yeah.
Need to,
Yeah.
And I think sometimes the hardest part was when I had to let go, and it just, I know that their lives, their families depend, we're like,
But it has to be a win-win.
yes, exactly. Yeah. So we have to think of the project, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. You have to think of the end goal. And is
end goal
everyone
of the
marching
project.
towards the end goal?
Exactly,
And if somebody isn't, then you have to fill somebody's spot
Yeah.
to get it marching again.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's always hard.
Let me ask you this, because we just a little bit about DPP. Like I said, they're our best friend in the world. But I know you guys have to go through that process just like we do. Are there any tips that you can give for
Somebody trying to navigate permits, like anything like that you can think of?
I think for ground up, I would say work with an experienced, make sure that they know what. Well, I know right now they have like all kinds of different changes. Like, make sure you know someone who knows what the changes are. Like with like DPP.
Yeah.
So like recently, we're trying to get a permit, but now you need like a topo survey done whenever you do like so many square footage of changes, and they're like they need it. Now they need it, like it wasn't a big deal before, but now
Never
they're
needed
kind
it
of
before.
enforcing it. Yeah.
Crazy.
Like topo survey, like
Yeah.
So it's good to have someone who is aware, and so they're not all created equal, right?
Yeah.
All the architects are not created equal. So it's really important to work with an architect or a draftsman who knows the process
and the system. Yeah.
Because if they're not doing it correctly, it's DPP. If you make a mistake, like if you have like so many characters, right? When you submit something, they have to input it. Everything's done online now.
Yep.
So you input it, and if you exceed the number of characters, they're gonna like
Reject it.
They kick you back.
They kick it back, and you got to wait like another 3 months.
Yes.
So it's really important, and you have, especially if you have holding costs. So it's important that they are aware and they're experienced and not someone
Not a new.
Yeah. That's really important, and it's just when getting the permit.
Are you physically, or is someone on your team physically going down to DPP and checking on your permits, or do you solely rely on your architect or your draftsman to do that?
We use a router. And so we check. We only have limited, like you go on the DPP website and then you check and then comment. So when I used to do just like one project at a time, I would be like, okay, what are the like it would show every week. It said comments, right? Comments. And I'm like, I'm on it.
Yeah.
So you have to be proactive
Yes.
too. We cannot just rely on the router to say. So we have to be proactive and think, okay, it's taking so long, or are they even picking it up?
Are they even looking?
Exactly. So I'm like looking at it every day.
Yeah, it's critical.
And when there's comments, and I say, hey, there's comments.
Yeah,
here.
hurry
I'm
up. What are they
calling.
saying? Yeah, let's
And
get
then,
it.
okay, we didn't pick it up yet. I'm like, okay, can you look at it now?
Yeah.
You don't ask,
No.
you don't get.
Exactly.
Right.
So
Can you say that again? If you don't ask, you don't get.
yeah, you don't ask. I'm always asking.
Yes.
What's the worst thing? They're gonna say no. I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay, but what if they say yes?
Right.
Right.
Totally.
So you don't ask, you don't get. So here I am. I'm like, okay, I'm paying them, but shoot, this is we have to be accountable for our own project.
Yeah.
We cannot rely on the even if you hire a general contractor, like someone, like. If I didn't have my nephew, hire general contract, and they're like, okay, we submitted. I'm like, okay, but we have to be proactive to make sure, like, okay, I'm checking every day. They have other projects. That's your project. No one, you are accountable for it. So if something happens wrong,
It's on you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's on me.
Right.
So I'm looking at it. I'm like, hey, there's it was a corner lot. So we're building on this corner lot. So when you build on the corner lot, you have to deal with traffic, right? So there's corner lot with traffic, and then so I'm like, hey, there's comments on. Did you see this?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, not yet. Okay, so
Okay, well, when are you gonna look at it?
well, no, not yeah. I'm like, okay, well, can you check the comments? And it's something from traffic. And then I'm like, yes, I know because I already called.
seeing it.
Yeah.
I know what
There's
they are,
traffic.
actually.
They're like, They're like, oh, okay, we didn't call. I'm like, well, anyway, we need to call the traffic person at DPP. I'm like, oh, I called them for you already, you know? So before I'm calling them, I'm like, hey, I'm doing your work for you.
Yeah.
But, you know, so I called them and they said this comment. So, oh, okay, you know, let me call them. So my router would go, or my architect would call them.
Yeah.
Because they're also routers too.
Yeah.
Right.
And then say, okay, let's do this. So I feel like I'm like a quarterback.
You're a middleman.
Right? Yeah. I'm a quarterback.
Coordinating.
I'm like okay, this is the ball here. I'm going to handle it here. I'm going to handle here. Because otherwise, who's going to drop the ball?
Yeah.
It's if the ball drops, then it's on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the only one that has to suffer. You're the only one that pays the consequence for not making sure the play is run correctly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know?
And that's our money, right? I mean, we take all
the risk.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We take all the risk.
Yeah.
No one's going to care about your product like you would.
Yes.
Yeah. We talk about that
Exactly.
all the
We talk about that all the
time.
time.
And
Yeah.
it's
Never
true.
fail.
You can feel like this person cares and they're going to do a good job for you, but ultimately it's your job to make sure that it's done.
Exactly.
And a lot of people would view that as, oh my gosh, she's so nitpicky, or oh my gosh, she's so like aggressive.
Or so forward. Yeah.
But-
Can't believe she asked that.
Really?
Well, I feel like that a lot of most people won't go that extra.
They don't understand that.
Most people
They
won't.
don't understand how important that is.
Yeah, they won't be proactive. They don't put themselves out there and to be that aggressive person. And not even aggressive is not the right word. I can't think of the word, but
I think it's because people we generally like to be liked, you know,
Yeah.
like we
Right.
or affirmation, like
Yeah.
okay, I need them to like
warm and
me,
fuzzy
you know?
feels good.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. But I had to actually evolve into that kind of what do you call that? Like a person who gets it done. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you know as also as a woman that's in a predominantly
Male
right,
industry.
you know,
Yeah.
I had to really like sometimes I had to lower my voice,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and then put on a fill that role that I have to be like tough there, like
That
they're
you
like-
know
they're
what you're
looking
talking
they're
about.
looking at my husband.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're like, are
Especially
you the
when he's
developer?
6'4" behind you. And you're,
And then I'm like, I'm here.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm here. And they're like talking to my husband. And then my husband goes, oh, my wife's the boss. You know,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
and then they look at me like, oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm like,
Yeah. I know.
yeah.
Same struggle.
It's so funny. But
Yeah. It's almost, you almost have to
it's actually kind of fun,
overcompensate.
though, to watch their reaction. when
Totally.
they're just
So
like,
you can have fun with them, you know? So funny. Okay, so how many deals did you guys do last year?
Okay, so last year is pretty much when we did the 5. Well, we had let me see, we had picked up 2 developments and 3 rehabs. So I did 2 developments and 3 rehabs. And then and then just this year we're like disposing of them, like I think like 3 of them. So that was last year. Yeah. So we just did. So we sold a development last year, and then we picked up more, and then 2 more developments, and then 3 rehabs.
Yeah.
Rehabs.
Nice.
And how many do you have going on right now?
So right now, because part of the, taking care of myself,
Yeah.
and I know my limits
Yep.
also,
Yep.
where I want to do the balance. So I keep it at, I like 3, like for me, like 3 or 4 is good.
Yep.
Right
At a
now.
time, yeah.
Because this year was also the year that I decided that I'm going to help others
Yeah.
get
Right.
started in real estate too.
Yeah.
that.
So that I want to be able to bless them. So when someone came up to me like earlier this year, they said, oh, I want to get started. I want to do what you're doing. I want to get started in real estate investing. So then, I get excited.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, they're like, oh, I said, okay, great. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I would love to help. Would you help me? I go, yeah, I would love to help you.
Yeah.
I get excited when people
Totally.
ask about that.
Yeah.
I wish my friends, hear this. You could, get excited too. They're probably gonna like, okay,
Whatever.
But, yeah. my
Okay, there's
girlfriends, my
JoJo
bestie,
again.
Yeah. There she goes again. But so when I just got so excited, I was like, great. Okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? You want to rehab?
Yeah.
You want to learn ground up development?
Yeah.
And he says, I want to learn wholesaling. And I was like,
I've never done that.
And I was like, well, I didn't tell him that. Because I didn't want to scare him, right?
Yeah.
I was like, wholesaling.
Let's
Got
do
it.
it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna
But
do
that's the
wholesaling.
attitude you have to have.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm so glad I met you. I'm so blessed to meet you. And I'm like, yeah, we're gonna. And I went home that night.
Yeah.
And I asked, and then I turned to my husband. I go, what is wholesaling? what the heck is
Yeah.
wholesaling?
Yeah.
I offer him rehabbing, flipping, ground development. He comes up with wholesaling.
Wholesaling, yeah.
What the heck is wholesaling? Then I had to Google it. I had to check. I go, when I'm bigger pockets, like wholesaling. I'm like, oh, that's
You're like,
wholesaling.
I can do this.
No, I didn't say. I was like, well, I said, how the heck are you gonna do wholesaling? I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how. I wholesaling. What is that?
Yeah.
So I said, we're gonna need help. So then I went to your meetup.
Oh, really?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I said, we're gonna need help because I've only been working with my family this time.
Right.
I need to meet people because heck, I don't even know what wholesaling is.
Yeah.
I need people so we could. I admitted I needed help, and I needed to learn and get educated, and I needed mentorship in that because I didn't have a mentorship in that, like, or in something like differently I didn't even know.
Right.
So when your meetup came, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna meet people. I'm so excited to meet.
There was a lot of people at that meetup too.
I'm like so tired of seeing my family. I'm like, I love them, but I gotta see other people too.
Yeah.
So I went there and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a community here. Like, what is this? And I'm like, and who's Kamaha and who's Tristan? So I went there and then I didn't know anybody. I asked my husband, do you want to go? And he's like even
More
shyer than me. He's more of an introvert. I think he's an extrovert, introvert, introvert, or I don't know, one of those quadrants.
Yeah.
But I said, well, I'm gonna get uncomfortable here. Like, I said, I need to get out of my comfort zone. I need to meet people. So I actually went there, and I was really, really nervous, because I didn't know anybody. I knew another sub-2 student, but other than that, I didn't know anyone. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went there, and I was like, oh my gosh, come on, Tristan, So because I think I started following you guys already, and then I started asking around, and I met another sub-2 student, and then and then I asked you, do you remember?
Yes,
we were in the garage.
In the garage.
Hey,
your energy is so bubbly. It was so cool.
It was like, I was like so happy to be with people. We shared the same common interest.
Everyone,
Totally.
The energy, like the vibration in that room was insane.
Yeah. So I was like, wow. So I was just like, it was like in like a kid in a candy store, Oh my God, it's so good. So that's when I asked you.
Yeah.
And then that's when you mentioned, right, the mentorship to me. And then I joined.
I know.
The following week.
So cool.
Because of you.
Oh, wow.
And I said, I need help. And then we utilized those.
Yep. You took action.
Yeah. But it took us, so that was like, when was that?
Earlier this year?
It was earlier this year, right? And the group has grown tremendously.
Totally.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But we utilized the techniques there to land our first wholesale.
Nice.
So up until a month ago, I would say my biggest achievement was the one of our rehabs out in Lanikai. We made a lot of money in that one. I would say that was like multiple six-figure.
Wow.
That was like over 600,000 actually.
Wow. Congratulations.
I thought, oh my gosh, that one also took me to the ER. But anyway, but the reward was so worth
great.
it.
It's worth it, yeah.
But up until then, that was our greatest achievement as far as like the challenges, the financial reward that we got after that. But now I think this wholesale thing with helping that one person who came up to me and said, can you help me? And I said, yes.
Yeah.
That is far rewarding.
There's no monetary value associated with that.
That's priceless. It was so priceless. And then he'll look at me and, I'm going to start crying. And he's like, Joe, thank you for what you're doing. For you have no idea how much you're helping me, my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
And so he said he made more off that wholesale deal. I think it was like $27,000.
Wow.
My goodness, that's
Super
even
cool.
more than our first flip.
Yeah.
He made more on that wholesale deal than he did with his other job
Yeah.
in the whole year.
The whole year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
And now he's like, he took that red pill and
He's
he's
hooked.
like,
Yeah.
he's hooked.
You
Yeah.
gave him proof of concept, like life-changing skills that now he can go and repeat over and over and over. And now he took the pill and he can have somebody else take the pill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
all I
passes
ask
it
from
forward.
him, all I ask from him is you pay it forward.
Yeah.
You be a blessing to others. You leave that footprint.
I love that,
Leave that
JoJo.
footprint. That's all I ask from
Yeah.
him. I let him. I invested into this mentorship so that he could learn.
Wow.
He
Right.
didn't have any money.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a blessing like how my sister, how my mom had been blessing. So,
So
I
cool.
invested in it. I spent
Yeah.
money on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted him to make money.
Yeah.
And I said, you don't have to pay me back. You pay me back by paying it forward.
Right.
Love
and be a
that.
blessing to other people in the community.
Yeah.
The
That's so
universe
good.
will reward you and the universe will know.
That's so
And
cool.
he's like, I'm so pumped, I'm so pumped
Yeah.
to help others. He's so pumped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that's cool.
his trajectory of his life, like he's been changed. And,
Oh, totally.
and for me, like to make a difference in one's life, I'm good. My cup
Yeah,
is full.
full.
My cup
Yeah.
overfloweth.
Right.
We talk about it all the time, and it's this thing of like, yeah, there's monetary income, but there's also something called emotional income.
Yes.
And for specific people, and you're one of those people because we are too, that's more important to us.
Yes.
Well, that
is
keeps you
more-
going.
That is more
Exactly.
fulfilling. That is
That's
more purposeful.
yes.
Like that's what it's about. So
Exactly.
yeah.
It's not the amount of deals that we do, the money that we make. I guess we're always like the universe. The universe takes care of those
Yeah.
who takes
Yeah.
care of others. So.
And it's the obvious thing is when you go into real estate, you make money. That's
Yes.
obvious.
Yes.
That's the industry that we're in. But what do the money is just a vehicle that allows you to create an impact and do what you're doing.
yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Yes,
And
I
even-
agree.
Yeah.
Even if you want something that's sustainable and that you're gonna do long term with longevity, there has to be some kind of purpose behind it. Like
Yes.
I
It
know
can't be
I
about the
know-
money.
I know
Yes.
so many people that are like, okay, I need to make $1 million. They make $1 million in real estate. Make $1 million. $1 million not enough. They're not happy.
I struggle
It's-
with that.
Yes.
They,
yeah,
I mean,
not
but
happy
it's
with that.
it's
Yes.
common.
Yeah.
It's common, and then they bump it up and they bump it up. But then what happens then is you're constantly searching and grinding. You never enjoy the process or the journey, and I think there's so much beauty and joy in the journey that we're on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're so right. I agree with that. When we had like 5 projects at a time, I was like so engrossed into it that I wasn't really enjoying it. Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree.
we
Completely.
can get lost when we're not grounded
Yes,
and we're not
exactly.
viewing it through a lens of gratitude and
Yes.
lens of, oh my gosh, I actually asked for this life.
Yes.
And like, look at the good things. Look at like,
Yes.
all this is happening for me, not to me. All that
Well, I
stuff.
love that. I love
know.
for me. I love
Yeah.
that. That's the first time I heard that concept.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you talked about one of the biggest like triumphs, right? Was like this monster deal that you did and then being able to help this person get their first deal. Now, can we flip it? And what was the biggest challenge you've had to overcome since you started?
I think when I mentioned earlier is just working. I think like handling, the projects all at one time,
Yep.
and then working with a different dynamic, the family dynamic with the different personalities
Yeah.
that we have. So just managing all that, and I think that it's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
I am. I have so much work to do on myself. I mean, but compared to where I was like 9 years ago, I'm such a different person. I think I'm constantly evolving and filling into that role.
Okay, so biggest triumph or success thus far. We talked about that, right?
Yep.
And then challenge you've had to overcome is just constantly evolving and being the better version of yourself every day. Yeah. And then if you could go back to the beginning, what was one thing you would do differently?
Or if you would do anything differently.
Yeah, I think the one thing I would have done differently is I think like the education part and networking part, because we were just doing like one project at a time.
Yep.
And I felt that we could have scaled faster sooner if we had been just educated and being open to utilizing other utilizing financing in fact. So I felt that we could have been able to start sooner and build faster, scale faster sooner.
I love that. You mentioned financing being the use of hard money. Who is your go-to hard money lender, and then what is their process? Because for a fix and flip loan, it's different. The requirements versus a ground up brand new construction loan. Like, what are the nuances that are needed when you're getting hard money for a ground up deal?
Okay, so hard money is considered like a more risky to like hard money lender. So and we've also, for our other ground up, we've also used like a conventional lender too.
Oh, nice.
But they look at, for the conventional lender, they'll do like a full documentation. So when we started scaling, then we started using for one of the projects was a conventional lender. And then, but that one, they require like bigger down payment, like 50%.
Oh, wow.
Like down payment.
Yeah.
Because it's, it's ground up, so riskier, 50%. So
they're like, how do I appraise this thing?
Yeah. And then, so we have to, so we for one of them was, we used a conventional lender, like a local lender.
Oh, nice.
And then, do we mention banks or?
Yeah, you can. You can say whoever you want. Yeah.
Okay, that was First Hawaiian Bank.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we use First Hawaiian Bank because they can do land loans. And so for one of the developments, it's a CPR development that First Hawaiian Bank was familiar with because they lend on that development.
Oh, wow.
The CPR development.
Yeah.
So certain lenders for development, they want at least 50% of that development to be homes that are already built for development. So we were the second house to be built on that development. And how I found that one was through social media and just looking for deals. So initially it was an off market. I contacted the developer. And he wasn't ready to sell yet. He was still finishing up his CPR documents, just getting all his documents in order. And then he said he was going to be ready to sell probably in about like 6 months. So I kept track of it because we wanted to invest in that. That's in Manoa.
Nice.
So I think so then as soon as it was listed, we already knew that which lot that we wanted to purchase.
Right.
And then so that initially we wanted to go with another lender, but because their 50% of the development
wasn't built
homes
yet.
they didn't want to risk it. It was too risky. But because First Hawaiian Bank was the lender for the entire development, they were willing to lend on that, but then we had to put down 50%.
Right.
So, and then we brought in private money lenders to come in to help with. So we funded the down payment, and then for the construction, for the down payment, and then the construction was our funds and private. We utilized private money.
Yeah. Love that.
That one. So we use Civic.
Oh, nice.
Civic Financial.
Yep.
They actually just recently did we did a cash out refi in order to that's how we purchased our Waterfront one. What we did is we used our own funds, but then we did a cash out refi to reimburse the capital for,
Totally.
Yes, you could go buy more deals. Yeah.
Yep. So for ground up, they'll do a cash out refi once you have the drywall up.
Got
So
it.
you don't have to wait until the house is completely done to get a cash out refi. Once you have drywall up, you can apply for cash out
Cash out.
refi.
Got
So we use
it.
that to purchase.
That was
more
the
property.
one. That was the one that somebody pulled out 4 days before. You guys had to come in and bring your own funds.
Yeah.
So then
Yes,
once you got
yes.
drywall up, you just cashed all
Yes.
that money out.
Yes,
Nice.
When what are you looking for? What makes a ground up construction deal a good deal? Like, what are you looking for?
What we look for, okay. So we look for location, right? Everyone always, was talking about location. So where we look at where can we sell that will give us the highest ARV.
Yep.
So we look at location, and then when we go to the lot, I look at if there's a sewer lateral. I always tell people, is there a sewer lateral?
there
What
a
is
sewer
that? What does that
lateral?
mean for people that don't know what a sewer lateral
so
is?
sewer lateral is one that is attached from your house. So it's sewer lateral is basically it's stuff that your what
Right.
How do you say that?
The waste,
Your human waste.
The waste.
Yeah.
goes to.
Yeah.
And then it brings it to the city line because the city has a sewer line. And then it goes from there. It
to
goes
where it
wherever
goes.
it goes.
You're
Yeah.
making sure there's actual plumbing from the main city line
Yes.
to the property, so
Yes.
you don't have to bring
So
that
we
in.
don't have to bring because it costs a lot.
A lot of
and
money
you
to
have
do that.
Because then you would have to get a trenching permit,
Which takes forever.
Takes forever. So that's another permit, and that's cost and involved. So I when I look at a property, I look to see if there's the sewer lateral.
Yeah.
The sewer lateral.
Yeah.
Where the water meter is, utilities are stubbed out.
Yep.
And then we look at the dirt. In Manoa, so our ground up in Manoa, it was a forest there. the
okay,
dirt.
yeah.
So the dirt there is different from like our waterfront property.
Right.
So that one is like adobe clay.
Yep.
So,
I don't like Adobe soil at all.
Yeah. So,
I hate
So,
Adobe
right.
soil.
We have
Yeah.
experience
Yeah,
with
it
that.
expands and
expands,
contracts.
contracts, and
Yeah.
expands,
It
contracts,
moves,
right?
yes.
So now now we're looking at that. We're like, okay, so now that affects our scope of work.
Yeah.
And then our foundation
You have
is
to
gonna be
reinforce it. Yeah.
A foundation cost is going to go up. So instead of usually we remove 1 feet of dirt and then replace it with gravel. But because it's adobe, we remove 2 feet of dirt
Yeah.
and then replace it with gravel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
Compacted, then,
rebars,
yeah.
right, and then so that costs us extra money. So
Right.
that goes into the scope of work there.
So is there any soil in Hawaii that you like or that's good for ground up?
like the regular one, the one that doesn't contract.
Yeah. The one that's
Anything but
the
Adobe.
one that's not Adobe clay.
Yeah.
That's
But what
the
about
good one.
Lanikai? I mean, that's sand.
Yes. So that one was we were up on it was up on a hill.
Oh, okay, on the hillside.
So so it's up on a hill. Did we have to do? I think we had to do a topo survey on that one when we had that one. That one was, oh my gosh, that was like my architect came in. He was like, "This is a tear down,"
Yeah.
And like initially we were gonna buy it as a family, but again, our dynamic,
Yeah.
our so it didn't happen. Then it was just me and my sister, and then we had to bring in a third partner. But so it was supposed to be a tear down. So it was basically we brought it down though to the foundation, and then we just redid everything.
Yeah,
Got it.
redid it.
We did everything. So
Yeah.
it was a addition alteration.
But essentially brand new.
Brand new.
Yeah. Except for the.
That's what we did with
bottom.
this house.
Yeah. That's what we did with this
really?
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
we
This
kept
is a bad
the
one.
foundation.
Yep.
The foundation.
That was the only thing that was worth keeping.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then we had to read
Everything we
I
did.
can't see it here, everything, but
Yeah.
you guys did such an amazing job
We
Right
did.
on.
with this one.
Okay, so you mentioned topo survey. For people that don't know what that is, what is that?
So Topper survey. Okay, so this is because I was like, I never had to deal with deal with it. Is if you add certain like square footage. If you add certain like square footage, the land has to be able to support it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Support with the additions and the alterations that you made. So then it's a lot more detailed.
Yeah.
Detailed, a lot more work that the surveyor
Has to look
do
at,
instead
yeah.
of just staking. So it's just a lot more. Yeah,
And it costs more.
It goes-
Yeah, it costs more. Like
Couple grand.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have to
does.
do one in Hau'ula.
Yeah, usually you have to do one too if you're dealing with sewers and stuff and upgrading from like
Septic.
cesspool to septic.
Yeah.
Cesspool,
So you guys
yeah.
had to do it in the
In
Hau'ula
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they do cost a couple grand for sure.
What about on the east side?
We haven't had to do one on the east side,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
who knows?
Who
Who knows? Okay, so you talked about utilities, you talked about sewer, you talked about soil, you talked about topo surveys. Anything else you can think of when you're trying to make sure it's a good deal for
the
ground
good
up?
deal. Yeah. So we also look to see how we can maximize it. Add tremendous value to get the ARV that we want.
Yeah.
So the way we build is always with an ADU. It would be like a two-story. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
2-story. I'm getting all excited. 2-story. I talk with my hands. 2-story,
do I.
and then with an ADU.
Yeah.
And so we try to make it as if they can, it gives them an opportunity to be a landlord too. And
Yeah.
it's
Right.
income producing.
Exactly.
So it's income producing, multi-family, a multi-generational. So we always have that in mind, where they can they can live in one, rent the other, or even live in one, rent out the other two.
Yeah.
So we always build and design it that way with separate entrances,
Yeah.
separate laundry units.
Yeah, I love that.
And then also the yard, and then of course when we build like big homes like that, we have to make sure we have parking
Yeah.
for the EDU and
Right.
then for all of that. So basically, people love brand new
Oh,
brand
yeah.
new homes.
Yeah.
And then
Quality.
multi-generational flex spaces.
Yes.
It's so valuable here in Hawaii.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
What are your costs per square foot with ground up construction right now?
So because my my nephews are like general contractors,
Yeah.
so we could build with like 250, 225.
Wow,
Nice.
that's amazing.
A foot,
Yeah,
250
that's
a
awesome.
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah, that's
super
great.
cool.
What is the longest you've had to wait for a permit?
Oh, like 8 months.
Yeah.
That's
But
not
that's on my
that
rehab.
bad. That's not that bad.
That's on my rehab. Well, actually, I'm sorry. 8 months to pick it up to
Oh,
get
yeah.
out of pre-screen.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and
Yeah.
so they picked it up after 8 months.
Now they're going and actually
Yeah, so
reviewing
now
everything.
there's like comments. So the topo survey is what we have to order, but that's for my rehab. So that's why I'm looking for like where always for ground up that permits are already in place.
Already in place. Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
it a lot
Work with
easier.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like for example, with this one, the one in Waikoloa, we're like, okay, how come they built it like this? Like, and like,
Oh yeah.
okay, that
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
match.
yeah.
I mean, the way it was designed, there's like space there, and it's like I think my nephews had to redesign it because it was like useless space.
Like dead space.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we're like, why was it?
That's
Yeah,
the
why
thing
did you
though,
put that
right?
in
With
there? Why
buying
did you-
Yeah, exactly.
approved permits.
Right,
You're
so
like,
we're thinking,
why
like-
did they design it like this?
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, okay, we're gonna do like maybe floating shells,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
No, but then we managed
Right.
to make it like into storage. No, but we're like, no, I think people like storage. Yeah, so then we managed to make it into storage, like
Yeah.
a small storage space.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, there's so much I'm interested in with
I know, I know.
yeah.
ground up.
We could
How
probably
are
talk
you?
forever.
How are you? What is the margin that because you're when you're doing ground up and you're buying deals, you have to account for over a year or more of holding costs, right? So are you adding that in, and you have to make sure you're buying it at a certain percentage? You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. But I think because the way we build, where it's multifamily and it's brand new, we can bring that value really.
Yeah, you can push the ARV.
because we set new comps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With our brand new builds.
Yeah.
We've set new comps for that, and they'll always like when the appraiser comes, they're like, oh, there's nothing like
Nothing
it.
like
you know?
this
Yeah,
around
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Totally.
no, but it's okay. Gotta work harder on that.
Yeah,
And I was like, yeah. So you keep that in mind. Okay,
Yeah.
raise it high, you know?
Keep pushing this. It
Yeah,
has
yeah,
this, and it
yeah,
has
yeah.
this, and it has
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
I think that's why. for all the ground ups, that we've done, like knock on wood, we've always made multi six figures.
I love that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
So where can people find you? I know you said you're pretty private, but where can people find
You're
you?
on Instagram.
I am on Instagram, but please, I don't just accept anyone. It's like, please let me know if someone introduced you, or hey, just give me like a
Little
intro.
heads up.
Give her a heads up. Send her a DM
I'm
and say,
with this person.
Yes, exactly,
They told
something
me.
like that.
"Hey, I saw your podcast on Deals in Aloha." And
I want to learn about real estate.
Exactly.
What is your Instagram handle?
So it's JoJo Talks Real Estate.
Love it.
At JoJo Talks Real Estate. Yeah.
At JoJo Talks Real Estate.
Yes.
And the last question that we ask all of our guests when we wrap up is, what impact do you hope to leave with the audience?
I think the impact I would leave is, if you're in a situation, or if you feel that I guess like financially, if you're looking for that one vehicle to design a life that's better than what you have right now, it is possible.
Yep.
And for me, it was real estate. It renewed me. It revived me. It gave me sense of purpose. If that's something that someone is looking for purpose, to just be able to provide for their family, to have that freedom, to leave and their imprint in the world, at that real estate did it for me.
Yeah.
So I encourage, I encourage people to try out, getting into real estate if you feel that, if you feel that you're just not happy with what you're currently doing.
You're searching for more.
Say yes.
And you know that you want more. We're giving you permission to go for more.
Yes. Give yourself permission.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love that.
I love that. Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Guys.
You have like the most inspiring story, and it really truly is a story of perseverance.
Yes.
That's the theme that I heard in
Over
my
and
head
over.
and
Yeah.
over is perseverance. And yeah, we're honored to have you on.
Oh, it's such an honor to be here.
Super fun. Right on.
All right.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you.
Peace.
Time to get paid, blow. Time to get paid. Time to get paid, blow up like I'm blowing up.